Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Thanks for joining. We are back on the Coxton Sub today, and we are going to introduce the long-awaited and extremely excitable Reefer Train. Alright, let's talk about how this works. So today we are going to depart Coxton, and this Reefer Train runs from Coxton north first to Little Rock. And then once in Little Rock, it gets back on the Cotton Belt and heads to the southwest towards the Southern Pacific Main Line in Texas, and then makes its way all the way out to either Los Angeles or the San Fernando Valley, all those kinds of areas out there. So the parts of California where they have all kinds of produce that they ship out. So today our power is two SD40s and a B36, I believe. It might be a B30, could be wrong on that. I think it's a B36 though, but haven't checked in a while. So we have a symbol. This is according to the best info I could find on the naming convention in the 70s, which there technically wasn't really a reliable one in the early 70s, but I had to make a few compromises. But what I found is we can call this train, or give it the symbol 01 COLA P. So the COLA stands for Coxton to Los Angeles, P stands for Perishables, and they also have R for Reefer, but that's technically at that time it was for empty reefers. And then the 01 at the start just tells us that it's the pure train and it is the first section. So there aren't going to be any other sections, but that's how it is. And this train here is set to cycle about every 3 or 4 operating days. So that gives you plenty of time to kind of ignore it if you want, or you can make it a priority. It's up to you. But keep in mind that over in the Louisville-Nashville yard, which is where we will go in a minute to discuss how this train is built, you only have a track that holds about 18 cars or so at the industry, so it takes a little bit of time to shuffle the cars. But anyways, I'm going to stop telling you a bit about it for now. There's more I can tell you later, and let's go ahead and head over to the Louisville-Nashville yard, and the yard crew over there is going to tell us how they put this train together. Alright, so you can see here that the Cotton Belt has put their caboose here over sitting on our main line, so it can be nice and close to us for our switching. We're going to go ahead and load up the reefers by shoving them into that caboose and shoving them down the main. Once that's done, we'll get the yard goat out of the way, and the Cotton Belt locomotives can connect and get it on out of our yard, and that is about the fastest way you can do this. So stay tuned and we will show you how this is done. With our 2 yard goats, we do have enough power to go ahead and basically build the entire train. We don't necessarily need to move it at any particular high speed. So we're going to go ahead and just get the triple done and get all 3 cuts put together before we shove back onto that caboose. We've got plenty of track to work with because the Cotton Belt has been generous enough to allow us to use their main just to the east. So plenty of space to do our work. And here we are backing up to our last cut. There are 5 cars at the end of this cut that are not going to go with us today because they have not yet taken their time at Knight's Perishables. So as we pull this cut up in the next clip, you will see us leave those in the yard, and those will be set out later on another day. Well, now that the train is put together, we are going to go ahead and head on out to the north. So initially, to go north, we first have to go east, but let's get on our way, and we have a long trip ahead of us. This train is going to go all the way to Los Angeles. All right, here we are back to our locomotives. We are currently now on the east side of Coxton, waiting for the signal here to depart the control point at East Coxton. So next up for us will be to go ahead and head north. This train does not work any yards on the route. It literally runs all the way through. So from here on out, what we'll do is we will get to a couple of nice rail fanning spots, kind of narrate a little bit about where we are, and talk a bit more about the train or just operations of this train in general. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and get moving. Here, as we head off into the sunset at around getting close to 5 o'clock, we have a nice view of downtown Coxton and the terminal engine facility here in Coxton. So Nick's Yard, you can see the cars in Nick's Yard back there. Busy yard as always, as you've seen in any of my videos on the Coxton Sub. But fortunately, most of the details in Coxton itself are pretty much getting wrapped up. I do have obviously quite a bit of detailing to do here at the engine terminal, but all the buildings are in where I want them to be. The track is good. I just got to figure out the finer details, the parking lots, the grass, bushes, trees, all those things, cars, everything else, you name it. But it'll be a nice look when it's done, and I am excited to finish up the south side of the route here and start heading north. Well, here we are passing through Highbridge, which is the next major town, just north of Coxton. We had to do something pretty rare today. This Perishables train is actually a priority train, and we had to go on the siding, so we had to slow down a bit to around 25 miles an hour to get through the siding here. Fortunately, of course, we don't have to stop. We just have to take the siding, but once we get to the other end, we'll get back on the main. But, stay tuned on the channel for an update and a new operations video here in Highbridge as well. Definitely need to kind of remake that brickworks again since I lost that in the hard drive failure, and then need to do some switching and kind of show how the operations here at Highbridge Yard work. So stay tuned for that. It'll be lots of fun, but it is going to be a few more weeks before I get there. So Well, this scene here is one of the few times we will catch any freight train on this route traveling over 40 miles an hour. We are running at track speed, which is 60 right through this joint, so benefits of being a first grade or top priority hot train, so we get to move as fast as we want. But so we are going to go ahead and catch up with this train next time. So we're not ending the video just yet, but we're going to catch up with the southbound version here. So we're going to travel to the north end of the route, fast forward a few days, and talk briefly about the trip to the south. Alright, so we are over on the north end of the Coxton Sub now. I do apologize for the lack of any sort of detail up here, but this is the staging yard on the north end of the Coxton Sub, where we stage any of the trains coming into the sub from the north. So this reefer train comes back south towards Coxton. First town is going to be going through Johnsville, which we're going to come up to here in a little bit. But the symbol for this train is 01 LACOP. So train 1, or it's 0 means pure train, and of course it's section 1. It's just the whole train. And then we've got origination was Los Angeles, destination is Coxton, and then this is a Perishables train. So still a top priority train, gonna run at track speed throughout the whole route here. But this is more or less where we would pick up our train when it comes back onto the route. So once you get up here to the north side, there is a loop you can use to turn it. You can use driver commands if you want to do like instant unload or whatnot to lighten it, or instant load random if you want to kind of make different cars load and unload. It's up to you on that. But now that we're here, we're going to go ahead and catch it in Johnsville and see what happens. Well, here we are passing the station at Johnsville. In the background there, you can see the steel mill. Kind of in the center of the screen, we've got the hump yard. It's pretty empty right now, which is not, of course, prototypical, but it's all right. Just hadn't got here yet. And then we do have a train that is in the departure yard ready to go. That is the Brockwell local, which we will have a video of in the future. Definitely a fun train to run, but saving that for down the line after we talk about the Mosey, or the Moscow Industrial, and have an operating session for that one. So we're going to do the Mosey first before we come back here and do the Brockwell local. Hopefully, I'll have a few more details in place by then, and some new discoveries that we can see. So we're going to go for 1 or 2 more cutscenes as we rail fan this one at least through Moscow, and then we'll probably wrap it up after that. As we come around the S-curve here in Moscow, I do want to say thank you guys for tuning in and watching. Stay tuned for more operations and route building videos. Plus, I've got a model railroad I'm going to start soon, just a small project that I'll make some videos on. But as always, it's great to have you guys on the channel. Please leave a like, a comment if you have any questions, or if you just want to support the algorithm to get the video out there to more people. So I appreciate all of y'all's interaction. Take care of yourselves, and we will see you guys next time.